Getting leads consistently was always so difficult for me until I realized these 7 things. Let's not beat around the bush. Everybody oversimplifies lead generation. They say it's just down to Facebook ads, or you just need the right copy, or you just need this software. But the reality is there's lots of factors that determine how successful your lead magnet is and then how effective your lead generation strategy is. So these 7 things are not spoken about enough. And I really want to break them down and be like super transparent to say that these are the things that I think you need to understand when creating lead magnets now and forevermore. And the more that you understand these principles, the easier it's going to be for you to run successful lead generation and marketing campaigns in general. So let's get into the list. Okay, so number 1, the better the lead magnet, the quicker your prospects will buy. Now, we all know that the better the lead magnet, the more leads that you're going to get, and that's great. But really what we want is clients. And what I've noticed is from testing and creating tons of lead magnets over the years, there's one thing that I know to be true more than anything else about signing up clients, which is the higher quality the lead magnet, the sooner people will give you money. And again, it's not just about leads, it's about sales as well, but it's also about creating a sales process within your business that's so efficient that people buy sooner, faster, quicker than they have done previously. So don't look at your lead magnet as just a way to collect name and email addresses. Use it to coach people to become better clients, become more prepared to buy from you. So I'll give you an example. When I was building websites with my agency, we used to sell websites at sort of £5,000-10,000. And every time that we got on a call with a potential client back in the early days, it used to take us at least 2 or 3 conversations, maybe 60 minutes each time, and then tons of emails in between to answer their questions and educate them to a certain point that they were ready to buy. Then what we decided to do was to focus on creating some high quality lead magnets. And what we did is we put them on our website and we got people to opt in for them, and we used to send them to people when they initially got in touch with us as a way to give that content to them before we spoke to them. And what we found is that the more that we did that, the better the conversations with the clients. The fewer questions that they asked, the fewer concerns that they had, and they were much more qualified to work with us because we'd fed them specific pieces of content beforehand. So rather than giving them content just to get them on a call, we would actually feed them some lead magnets and say, check this out, opt in for this, take this quiz, download this PDF. We would test lots of different lead magnets, but it really dawned on me that this was super effective when we actually had a sales appointment booked in our diary and we spoke to this potential client. They were a big IT firm, and we had a call with them and we never spoke to them before, and we managed to get them to buy from us within 21 minutes. So we had a call with them and it took 21 minutes for them to make a decision to buy from us there on the spot. And that goes from 3 conversations, dozens of emails back and forth, to a 21-minute Zoom call where they were prepared to buy from us on the spot. And the reason that happened is because they'd already downloaded our lead magnets, they'd already done a certain amount of education, and they were already ready to buy within 21 minutes of speaking to us. They just needed to clarify a couple of questions in reference to their particular needs. So the biggest realization isn't lead magnets get more leads, they just pre-qualify people and train them and guide them to a position to make a decision far sooner. And that's the reality. So yes, high quality lead magnets attract more leads, but they also attract buyers. And that's the reality. People don't have an unlimited amount of time to speak to you, email you, ask you to clarify questions. It's just better if you have some really high quality lead magnets on demand for them to consume before they speak to you. And we just found that rather than going for 2 or 3 months, we were going down to 2 or 3 weeks from a sales process perspective. And it just made everything in our business far more effective and a lot more profitable. Number 2, the more relevant the content, the stronger the connection. Now, I know that you probably have tons of experience, lots of amazing stories, lots of amazing advice. But if you were to give all of that away as your lead magnet, then it would be super overwhelming for your client and prospects, and they'd just more often than not be confused. So you have to be very, very selective about the content that you share with your audience, and they'll actually value that more. If they know that everything that they consume from a lead magnet perspective is relevant to them, then they're far more likely to feel that connection with you and want to go to the next step. So what I mean by this is be very selective and try to actually gather a little bit of information about them. Try to personalize the content that you give to them and you provide so that it is relevant. So if I said to you, do you need more traffic, leads or sales? One of them would probably be a priority for you. Imagine if I could deliver specific content based on sales, and that's what we're talking about in this video. so it makes sense. But if I give you everything I know about traffic, leads and sales and conversions and email opt-ins and all that stuff, then you're probably going to be overwhelmed and you might not feel a certain connection and you've not received that value. So sometimes an awful lot of content doesn't necessarily lead to a stronger connection and a stronger prospect. And that's what we want to do. So the more specific and relevant content you can deliver, the easier it is for you to build up that rapport with that prospect before you jump on the sales call. So where possible, try to make it relevant and try to be specific in the content that you provide. Number 3, if you give more, you get more, okay? I'm not talking about more content. I'm not talking about more insights and more advice. I'm talking about added bonuses, little surprise things that happen on the back of somebody opting in for that content. So if you said to somebody, I want you to register for this webinar, or I want you to download this book, enter your name and email address, but actually when they landed on that page, you actually got something extra, like a little bonus, like a freebie that you weren't expecting. This is what we call a conversion booster. Imagine that you click on an ad on Facebook or you see something on LinkedIn and it says putting on a webinar, or you can download like a free PDF, and you click the link and you get to the page. You're expecting that you're going to have to opt in for the thing that you've just been told, but wouldn't it be nice if someone added an extra little bonus there, a little conversion booster to really get you to commit to that click? Because when you click doesn't necessarily mean they're going to convert. So what you need to do is make it sound so good and irresistible that the only option is to opt in. And that's what added bonuses can do. These little conversion boosters are super effective if you want to increase your conversion rate from 30 to 50%. In fact, when I did this, we actually got an 83% conversion rate because they weren't expecting some of the things that we were giving them before they opted in. So most of the people that land on your page now might not be converting into a lead. Sometimes people are converting at 10, 20, 30%. So just by adding these little conversion boosters, it makes a massive difference when it comes to getting people to opt in and actually consume your content. So don't miss the chance to add a really nice, juicy conversion booster to your landing page in addition to what you've already promised. Number 4, don't ignore the power of free. Now, there are some people out there that say that you shouldn't give away your knowledge and they shouldn't give away assets that are free because it just attracts freebie seekers. And the reality is it couldn't be further from the truth. In today's digital world, everybody's giving everything away for free. You have to really fight to give stuff away for free. That's why, I'm recording a video on how to get more leads from giving stuff away for free. But the reality is that you should be so generous with your content and your knowledge that you're prepared to give away everything for free and then charge for implementation. So there's a really interesting strategy that Daniel Priestley, our co-founder, talks about. And he talks about having a 90% and a 10% mindset. So imagine that 90% of your audience are going to consume the free content that you produce. 10% should be held back for your paying customers. And it's really interesting this because I think it really highlights the fact that most business owners don't go to those extremes. They don't give away tons of content. They probably have flipped it on its head and they give away 10% and then they say, I'm holding 90% back. And it's really important that you understand that in the times that we're in with things like Google, YouTube, ChatGPT, all these other platforms allow people to consume content that's free, that's on demand, that's easily accessible. And if you're not leveling up your level of how much free content you're prepared to give away, then you're going to get left behind. Don't believe the hype. Giving away free content doesn't attract freebie seekers. It helps elevate your brand. It helps increase your followers and your email list so that when you decide to monetize, that 10% of the people can actually afford to work with you, then those are the premium high quality clients that you really want. So don't shy away from giving away free content that's freely available across all your channels so that the 90% of the foundations is built and you can monetize the 10%. That's the best way for you to grow your audience, get more leads, and attract more of your ideal clients. And when you position yourself as an authority in your industry, you will attract much more of those high quality clients who you love to work with. Number 5 is listen more and talk less. Okay, so we've just spoken about a great split when it comes to producing content. 90% should be free, 10% should be paid, and that works wonders. But when you actually start to attract your ideal clients, you really want to stop talking and stop giving them content and actually listen to them. So if you have someone opt in for your lead magnet, for instance, what most people do is they send them straight to the content and they say, great, I've got your name and email address. Here's everything I know in order for you to buy from me. And the reality is that if you're trying to appeal to those ideal clients, then you need to ask a few questions first. If you don't, you're essentially just saying, well, you're the same as everybody else that's opted in for this lead magnet or booked a sales call, and I'm just going to have the same conversation with 100 people. What you want to do at this point is to stop talking, stop giving them content, and actually ask a few questions first. This is important because we want to be seen as individuals. You know, we consume lots of content broadly, scale, but when we want to have a conversation about working with somebody, we have specific requirements. We have specific goals, problems, obstacles that we want to discuss. So at this point, after someone's opted in, they want to speak to you, they want to book a call with somebody on your team, you want to spend a few minutes asking them questions. And this can be automated. You don't have to do this physically while you're with them. You can actually just set up a tool like ScoreApp, and you can ask 2 or 3 questions to get clearer on what it is that they are wanting to do, what problems they want to solve, what goals that they have. So this is your opportunity to pre-qualify them, learn more about them and what they want to achieve so that you can have a better sales conversation when you get to that point. You'll also have tons of data to know if they're the right fit for you, and it'll just make for a much more meaningful conversation. And let's not forget that the more that you do this and the more that you create this amazing experience, the quicker people buy. It's not a case of just more is better, it's better is better. So the better questions that you can ask, the more you understand your prospect, the sooner that they'll buy and the higher quality clients that you'll attract. Number 6, test with organic and scale with ads. Okay, so when you've created a really good lead magnet that you're proud of, you might be thinking, I'm just going to throw some money at it. You're going to spend money on Facebook ads or Google ads, and you're going to get tons of people to see it, and it's really exciting. The problem is that you're not 100% sure on whether or not this is going to convert. And unless you've got an unlimited amount of money in the bank, you're probably going to be wasting some money in the testing process. So that's not what we want. We want you to test with organic first to get a benchmark as to what you can expect when you do add ads to the mix. So what I mean by testing with organic, if you created a brand new lead magnet, you need to be sharing it with your existing audience. You need to go to LinkedIn and you need to say, I've just created something new. I think it's really good. I'd love to get your feedback. And you share it on your social media, you share it on your stories, you share it with your existing audience, your email list, and you really get it out to as many people as you can. You can use things like DMs, and you can set yourself a target. I'm going to send 5 DMs a day to get people, real people, to see this lead magnet landing page to test to see if it works. If you're only getting 10% conversion rate, then it's not good enough. I mean, a lot of companies out there think 10% is good. I don't. I want you to get 30, 40, 50% more. So what I want you to do is to test with organic first, get real people into the mix, get them to review it, see if they're opting in, see if they're answering some questions, see if they're prepared to consume that content. When you get a really good conversion rate, then you know the messaging is good, you know the offer is good, you know maybe you want to chuck a few extra bonuses in there, like those conversion boosters that I discussed earlier. And this is the really important thing. Once you've tested it and you've got a good number of people coming through it, then you can scale ads, and then you can actually work out how much money you need to spend in order to attract your client. And then you can get a budget in mind, and then you can scale and go to different platforms and maybe create some new ads and creative and videos and stuff like that. But you want to get real people to see it first, people that you know, like and trust, get their feedback. And yes, the conversion rate is probably going to be higher than it would from ads because these people know you. Maybe they've consumed some content. So always give yourself a little bit of leeway. If you're getting a 50% conversion rate from your organic, I would say reduce your expectations from ads to maybe 40%, or if it's 30%, reduce it to 20%, because these people don't know who you are and you're new to them, and you're competing against everybody else that's trying to advertise to them. So test with organic to make sure there's no massive issues, and then you can throw some money at it and scale with ads. Number 7, repeat what works. Now, the term marketing campaigns has led people to believe that you need to create a new marketing campaign every quarter or every month or every week for some people. And the reality is you don't. If you can master one lead magnet and you can use that to pull in tons and tons of leads, then don't change it. The reason that you need extra campaigns is for things like what we call pop-up campaigns. For instance, if you've got a new event coming up soon, or you're wanting to release a book and you're wanting to create some buzz around it, or maybe you're thinking about launching an extra product, then yes, okay, you're going to need mini campaigns around that. But you should always have what I call a signature lead magnet, something that you feel so proud of that you would be happy to promote it for the next 3 years without even thinking about it. Something so high value and high quality that no matter what happens, you're sending people to that and you're happy it's going to work, it's going to convert, it's going to warm people up, and it's going to grow the connection that your audience have with you so that they're much more likely to buy sooner. And pop-up campaigns are not going to get you there. Changing things up every few months is not going to lay the foundations for high quality. It's going to make it feel like inconsistent. It's going to make it feel like you haven't made your mind up. Like, get something done that you're super proud of, and that should be the tip of the tongue lead magnet that you're always happy to share. It should be the first thing that you recommend people take if they want to take the next step with you. And the pop-up campaigns are great if you have individual goals, but they quickly fade away after time has passed. So you really need a high quality signature lead magnet that you're always prepared to share so that you can consistently attract high quality clients into your business. So for instance, an idea for a signature lead magnet would be an assessment. So if I said to you, I want to help you assess how good you are at driving high quality leads and getting high quality clients, I could create an assessment that says answer these questions and I'll give you a personalized score and some feedback on how you can improve your lead generation and client acquisition. That would be a great signature lead magnet that's quite timeless. I could also run a regular webinar every week or every 2 weeks or even every month, and that's the place that I send you to always, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on the back of a podcast interview. You need something that's repeatable and consistent so that people know the next logical step that you want them to take. And unfortunately, pop-up campaigns and changing things up every few months doesn't work. So repeat what works. It's the best way to create consistency and predictability in your business. So there you have it. Those are the 7 things I'd really like you to understand and adopt in your business if you really want to create a consistent flow of leads and sales. And once you understand those and you can implement them, then you'll be able to create much more predictability and much more consistency within your marketing efforts. So did I miss anything out? What have you noticed from your lead generation campaigns in the past that's worked really well? What didn't I mention? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. So if you found this video useful, click the like button and follow my account so that I can notify you the next time I release a video.